This is not a pond. This is not a still lake. What I'm in, it used to be a road.
Another letter was sent out, but when it arrived at the new address, Erdman wasn't living there. That's a violation of his parole.
The business was broken into by a bolt cutter. The lock clipped right off.
Breaking news tonight, we're told a Milwaukee police squad car has been involved in an accident. They're not familiar with the man at the center of this standoff and tell us he has no criminal record. I've referred to this in the past as the Jeremy Ross wind measurer thingamajiggy 6000. Certainly not high tech, but it demonstrates the kind of wind we're seeing out here.
All the parties are pretty much on the same page. I'm apparently making lots of friends out here. Thanks, man. We're live at Summerfest. Jeremy Ross, Fox 6 News.
And I heard 5 different gunshots, heavier than fireworks. Bang, bang, and then bang, bang, bang.
The sounds of gunfire were eventually drowned out by the call, officers down.
And they're both in pretty bad condition. You know, a lot of blood, a lot of kicking and screaming from them.
2 police officers assigned to the 2nd District stopped a suspicious individual for questioning.
The officers stopped a man on a bicycle?
Yes, sir.
Without provocation, he drew a weapon and shot both officers before they had an opportunity to draw their weapons.
Sounded like almost like Vietnam years ago.
The suspect fled the scene.
But before the massive police response, the K-9 units, dozens of officers on foot, some with assault rifles, some on horseback, some needed to tend to the wounded police officers.
Peek my head out and I see all these cops converging on the scene.
They were working on the one officer desperately.
As soon as I got to the scene, I told them, hey, I'm an EMT, let me help out.
Tom Aldana went from his job on 2nd Street to the job of life-saving.
I got gloves from one of the officers, and right away I started applying pressure to the gunshot wounds.
He stood by until emergency workers got to the crime scene.
As soon as the fire department got there, we were able to get a hold of some occlusive dressings and seal those wounds more adequately.
Police say within an hour of the gunfire, officers with guns drawn located the man responsible for the shooting near 3rd and Walker.
A coordinated area search has produced a suspect and has produced a weapon. We're treating this as an attempt homicide investigation. We believe we have the right man.
Police Chief Ed Flynn tells us the man in custody does have a criminal record with the Milwaukee Police Department. Tonight, he is under special guard at the city jail. The film from 1968 shows glimpses of protest.
They were burning draft cards.
Demonstrations surrounding the war in Vietnam, and on November 21st of that year, President Lyndon Johnson was in the White House. And a Milwaukee trio was in custody. The newspaper called it a slaying. Then 18-year-old Melvitine Lampkins and 2 others played a part in a grocery store robbery. The article described gun whipping and shots fired. One man apparently did not move fast enough for the robbers.
Took a sawed-off shotgun and shot him in the chest.
Who shoots a 78-year-old man in a grocery store?
It was point-blank range. He put the shotgun right to his chest and pulled the trigger.
78-year-old John Adornato was shopping with his wife.
He was a gentle soul. He was a lover of people.
He was rushed from the area of Buffalo Center to a hospital. The intern at the emergency room knew there was nothing he could do, and that intern just happened to be one of Adornato's 11 grandchildren.
It took us by such shock.
Another of his grandchildren, Celia Dodge, describes the impact of the murder.
It devastated them. It really did. It broke the family apart.
The robbers were caught and convicted of the crime, including Melvitine Lampkins.
She was the lookout for the robbery.
Michelle Herrings of the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force says Lampkins was sentenced to life in prison plus 60 years, but was given the chance to attend school during that time. Lampkins took advantage of the opportunity, and Herrings says she escaped in 1976 and somehow managed to escape again in 1979.
Her whereabouts and activities have been unknown since.
How could someone be missing out of a jail cell, out of a prison for 30 years?
Yes, I think they deserve an explanation.
I'd like to point a finger. I wouldn't know where to start.
A crime taking place during a time of unrest and conflict. The fugitive bringing additional unrest to a family decades later. They are the games. The sounds and sights surrounding the holiday suds.
It's the green beer that did me in.
Thousands hit the Water Street bars.
A lot of people drinking a lot of alcohol with fine Irish music in the background.
Everyone is so nice on St. Patty's Day.
If only that were true.
People have too much to drink and become argumentative, and we have assaults.
Really, come on, dude. Why don't you keep walking there, boss? Why don't you keep walking? Let's go. You take care of him tonight, all right?
People have too much to drink and drive, and they're dangerous.
Milwaukee police count their numbers in a roll call as some try to count their alcohol intake.
It keeps going.
If they had a little bit too much to drink, we're gonna make sure they get into a cab.
Taxi cabs. I promise you, I would never drive.
Appreciate it.
Policing the pavement, you'll find Officer David Gransart as he finds one violation
Can't be walking around with a beer in your hand, though.
after another.
You know you can't walk around with that, right? But you do me a favor. Go ahead and pour that out right there.
You're not allowed to drink alcohol on Milwaukee sidewalks.
So hopefully it's a deterrent effect that people look left and look right and see some blue and decide to moderate the green.
If you're not doing anything wrong, you should have nothing against the police.
On bikes and on the lookout. Law enforcement hoping this holiday is marked by festivities rather than felonies.
Happy St. Patty's Day!
All we're trying to do is just keep people safe.
The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office says for the average weekend, they make 11 drunk driving arrests. They say last year during St. Patrick's Day, that number was 77. Tonight's big story at 9, a Mount Pleasant motorcycle crash sends 2 to the hospital. 13-year-old boy killed in front of his house is laid to rest. Friends and family pack the All-People Lutheran Church in Milwaukee to say goodbye to Darius Simmons. Investigators say Simmons was approached by his 75-year-old neighbor, John Spooner. Spooner accused the teen of stealing, then shot him. Attorney General Eric Holder appointed 2 U.S. attorneys to investigate recent national security leaks. You Decide coverage now. Tuesday's loss is still stinging, but Wisconsin Democrats say they are ready for the next round. The state party's convention continued today in Appleton. Fox 6's A.J. Bayatpour talked to delegates who say they've already shaken off the recall results. With Greece near financial collapse, the stakes are higher and the temperatures are running hotter. Watch as verbal jabs become physical ones. If you wonder when chivalry died, I present Exhibit A.
That was a woman!
Yes, he hit a woman. Translated, he called the woman an old, quote, commie, and she called him, quote, a criminal. This was on live morning television in Athens. The guy who went on the attack, by the way, facing assault charges.
Good. That gets hot.
Now, granted, Washington, D.C. basically on a swamp, so you get the high humidity out there, so it can be a pretty hot place to be hanging around in.
Listen to this weather guy, Justin.
Oh, no, I'm not taking that gig.
You don't even need me. I'm just going to go take off.
That's that, guys. No, please come back. Please come back. I can't even say dew points with a straight face on the air.